What's up, it's your boy Johnny Shreve. I have BB Promos and Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Up. Today we're coaching up Fit Media channel doing the video chest workout Arnold style. So basically this is a chest workout that Arnold did in the past. They copied this thing, reps and sets and exercises. So we're gonna go through this and kind of give you an idea of like what they're actually doing. You guys, pretty straightforward, but how can we kind of optimize this in a way where you can do it every day without making it confusing? Anyway, hey guys, before we get started, I want to thank my sponsor, BlueStar Nutraceutical, for sponsoring this channel, guys, for giving me the support to be able to give you guys the best info I can give you. And I gotta thank you guys for giving my channel eyes to bring sponsorships like BlueStar Nutraceutical to this channel, guys. So again, thank you guys. If you want more information about BlueStar Nutraceutical, guys, hit the description below and use my code Johnny10 for 10% off. More on BlueStar Nutraceutical supplements coming right at you. And guys, look forward for more supplement reviews for BlueStar Nutraceuticals, and you guys can understand exactly what I take, why I take it, and if it's even worth taking. Anyways, get to the show. I like the way this guy's doing it. This guy, he's doing this right, where his chest, and I like the way his shirt's off because we can see if he's pushing through the core, where his chest is being activated, and we actually have a good pathway or vision or video where we can see the elbows traveling off. So let's just take a look at it. And where it's going is we can kind of pause right here. That's exactly where you want the bar to go, right? You can see his elbows are right underneath, even though you can't see necessarily in here, you can tell where his arms are in relation to the bar if you look at this angle here when he's pressing. Now we get a better angle from here that this is the angle going down, so you're gonna see his elbows kind of this way, but they're actually underneath. But we're placing this bar, if you look at his lats are engaged, that means his shoulders depressed. He's probably got a little bit of a bend in his back because you can see how flat his stomach is, and we're pressing up, you see it get tighter on the way up. And the way he's breathing and pushing through, and you can see the peak contraction of where that bar actually is, right straight through, which is perfect. So here's his range of motion. Now, is his range of motion good? Yes, it is for sure. His chest is going to be active right now. You can see how stretched his chest is. He doesn't have to touch his chest, but as long as if we do touch our chest, which is totally fine, as long as the elbow is still stacking the joint and our fist is still higher than the chest, but if we have to touch our chest and then all of a sudden our shoulders are flaring off and you're seeing a lot of pain, then we have to, change your range of motion. So it's fine to have that right there because you can tell right now his pecs are still being active and pushing up. I'm gonna demonstrate you guys exactly how we should set this up for you guys who are just new to the channel, or you guys who are veterans, who have been here since the start, or just in the middle, whatever you guys are at. You guys can definitely learn from this again and bring it to your next day doing flat bench. Check it out. Okay, so first we have bench press. So I'm gonna go through the entire setup for doing flat bench. So what the guy in the video has been doing is actually good, just the way, his bar pathway, stacking his joints. But I wanna show you guys exactly depth-wise and setting up exactly how we should go, because I see this happen all the time. Now, before you even get into this, if you're looking at building your chest even more, start right away by just having a little slight incline, like 15 degree. I normally do that all the time to build my small chest because I had a small chest and I still have a small chest. Either way, let's get the job done ASAP by basically putting it up 15 degrees, and then your regular incline will be your 30 degree. Anyway, basic setup when we're doing this, I'm gonna do this without any weights first so you can see what I'm doing. But first of all, getting in, regardless if you're a power lifter or a regular Joe, we wanted to make sure that our hips don't come off the bench. So we are gonna do somewhat of a little bit of a, powerlifting posture in terms of our feet being underneath our hips, right? Because when I do this right now, when I do engage my core and I push, my butt won't come off the bench. And when I want to drive the weight up, it can come from here, right? Bench press isn't just your chest, it's your entire body lifting. So from here, I want to sit down and get myself here. We just want to do it right away from floor to core, make sure my feet stay planted to the ground under my butt. If the bench is too tall, get yourself, a riser or plate so you can get yourself under here without your back being too arched. Sitting back, right? I'm right here on the bench. My butt's on, and I want to engage my glutes a little bit right now, just to keep myself, tight. Now, my core is going to be pushed in. Now, a lot of times what I see people do first is they'll go like this, and then they'll try to sink their shoulders, or they won't do it at all, right? What I want you to do is get yourself in position, grab wherever you're gonna be. Now I'm gonna a little bit further than I should be, but get yourself close enough so we don't have to drag this thing over like an overhead press. So I might just tee down a bit. There you go. It's like double pullover. Anyway, adjust myself, butts under the bench, my heels under my butt, tight from here. I'm gonna go outside shoulders a little bit, right? Biachromal is basically doing like this, and it being you literally shoulders apart. That wouldn't be close grip, this will be close grip. This is bad close grip, this is good close grip, right? Where you can clear your chest, right? Outside this is like biachromal, which is where your shoulder blades are, basically your collarbones or your AC joint, whatever, right? And then a little bit outside that's where I'm gonna go, right? Now, when I open up, when I pick up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna engage my core, tight core, push right away, and then I'm gonna push my shoulders down. I'm gonna use pushing this back a bit or down to get my shoulders depressed. So I'm here first, right? So when I push the weight, I'm just doing this. right? I want to avoid doing this and rolling my shoulders and then having to do this and then down, because once most people do this, they're in their neck and then doing this, right? So what we're gonna do is from floor to core, floor, butt, glutes, core, tight. From here, push your shoulders down so your chest almost pops up, but you still engage your core. That way my shoulders already locked in, and I'll push off from here. And then on the way down, elbows are gonna stack the joints, I don't care how far you are, but here, down, and it's gonna be starting my chest. We can go down here if we have the good range of motion, right? If we don't, it's gonna be hard on our shoulders. So we can go to here, but don't go here, right? Just say like an inch off your chest so we can stay active and push up. Now we're pushing into the ground when we're doing this. I'm not thinking about pushing this off my chest because we get this. I'm thinking about pushing myself in the ground, controlling the weight. And that push comes from right from the floor into my glutes to my core. On the way down, tight. And I'm not locking, this is locking out, this isn't. I'm pushing my chest. And I'm trying to bend this bar this way and this way. I'm really doing this to force my shoulders down, my chest engaged, so when I'm pulling here, my arms are directly underneath the bar when I'm pushing. And this is how you go. That's how you should do it.
10 reps. 8. 6. 4. Final set, drop the weight. 4 more.
Okay, so rep range, you think about what he's doing. Like he's starting off his bench doing, 10 reps and 8, 6, then 4, then drops so there's 4, then there's 4 again. Now, do you have to do it that way? No. The set just has to be around, like if you look at his tempo's really good. As long as his set's, around minimum 30 seconds and max just 45 seconds, he's going to create that, muscle hypertrophy through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. So what he's doing is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's all it is. There's different ways of, there's pedicat. There's 1,000 ways to do so to create muscle hypertrophy in terms of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Whether you're doing 30, 45 seconds, the length of the set, however many reps you get in between that, whether you're doing a drop set, a superset, a hot set, bounce set, whatever set, I don't care what set it is, as long as it's lasting 30 to 45 seconds and it's around 70% of one at max, 75, then you're doing sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. So you don't necessarily have to do this rep scheme in all these for this. You can just make sure your reps again stay 30, 45 seconds. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
Same now on the incline. 8. 6.
Now this is really good here. We can see. Now I want you to show you guys something really quick on where he's finishing the rep. He's finishing the rep not fully locked out. Now it's important to go fully locked out, not locked out, but full adduction of the shoulder, yes. But where he's at is actually making this rep that much harder because you're keeping constant tension on the pec the entire time. So the fact that he's not going out all the way, like his arms going all the way up, he's making his chest work that much more and consistently through this. Now he's adding weight, and we can see where this is going is perfect. That's exactly where he should go. That's exactly where the bench should be. You can tell this guy trains chest really well, and he's obviously genetically gifted. He's a bodybuilder, whatever it is, but his pecs look that much better because he's doing it right? You probably get his pecs to be somewhere along that anyway, but as good as it is right now is definitely a fact of having really good form. He obviously killed this workout. Now, when it comes to the same thing as reps and sets and schemes with this, again, same idea. I'm gonna actually say the entire workout, you have to do the same rep scheme that he does, but if you just wanna copy what he's doing, it's completely fine. Do the exact same workout, it's completely fine. Is it completely necessary to achieve what you want to achieve in terms of, volume, blood volume, and sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? No, you don't have to do this for your chest to be active. You just have to basic gas out, as I said before. Now, when it comes to this actual exercise itself, I'm gonna bring you guys through step by step on how to set up for this workout. So check it out. Okay, so when we're doing incline, so if you're looking at right here, get your chest to start working right away, like your pec minor, your small pecs, your upper pecs, whatever. Basically, 15 degrees is this. Your traditional incline, which you're gonna work on next, which is he went on, is basically, there's your 30, 45, right? Heading into the shoulders, a lot more shoulders, right? So lower, less shoulders, the more up we go, shoulders, right? Shoulders in pec minor, shoulders in more and more shoulders in pec minor, basically shoulders least pec minor, right? So we're going down to traditional. Right from here. Now, a couple things too, the very basic, obvious things too is like, make sure this thing is just up a notch, keep you from sliding down. A lot of times I don't see people use this, which is very weird. And you end up doing this and like, oh, I don't know why I keep slowing down to the bench. It's crazy. Just something's going on with this. It's just super easy. Just, you know, it's basic, right? Click up one. If we're really pressing into this, this is going to change this, how this is set up too, right? So the higher this goes up, the higher this will have to be probably, right? So just for namesake, keeping it here, same setup. Now just for this way, we don't have to necessarily come get our feet like this, going down because we're a little more upright. So we can have our feet basically, you know, right here or flat on the ground, whatever it is. Either way, when I'm pushing, if you see how I'm pushing from the floor, if I push, I do this. Right, that's exactly how I push. I'm pushing from my entire foot, it's pushing, and I can feel it in the back of my legs, my glutes, and pushing, sliding up. Push me this way. If I continue, if I add a weight, basically what happens is this. Right, so I want to think of that like that transition from the floor of where you're trying to do, right? But now when we're actually lifting up, we're using that from here, right? So we're still using that. We're not pushing it this way, but we're generating that same power to push this thing here. Now, doing this again, your incline, you want to push this flat, straight up in the ground, straight up in the air, right? Incline is here, not here, not here. And a lot of people mix it up because they're on a bench like this, and they think they're pressing, and they're doing this. They think they're in the air. They're not pressing straight up. This is straight up, and this is going to fall onto our chest that much more when we're here. If you start doing this, your front delt's starting to work that much more to hold the weight up this way, basically, right? So right away, before if you didn't even know how to start, just put your hands straight in the air. There's where it should start and finish. Having it high enough that you can just, again, keep yourself in. Now, from when you're doing incline, the good thing about this is the weight's already pushing you down this way. So for me, or people have like shoulder issues, like myself, incline I seem to do a lot better with because naturally it helps with shoulder depression. It helps push my shoulders down naturally. So same thing, same rules apply when it's flat bench. Push from the floor to core. Keep your core engaged so we're not puffed up like this. From here, then we're gonna get ourselves close enough, obviously, so we're not too far back. And then again, pushing into the ground already and then pulling us off basically. So pushing the ground and then pulling off, and we're already set. And then that's gonna come straight down right to the top of our chest. And push. Push. And I'm pushing right from the core, right from the floor to my core. Floor, glutes, core. And pushing up. And then breathing wise, try to make that push, that exhale, go with the concentric, with the entire concentric. So don't go here and you still got, you know, ways to push. Come down and then use your breath the harder the rep gets. At the end of your set, you know, you get into your harder reps, then we're pushing even more from the core. And finish. And we're back. Okay, so for depth-wise, we do want to bring it, you know, low enough to stretch your pec. Arnold's range of motion is incredible. He had a massive chest, number one. So you think about like having a big chest, how much further down he's going, that he's really not going super, super low. His chest is super high. It's big, right? And that's from his ability to have good shoulder range of motion and stretching the shoulder. Now, you don't have to have your elbows come all the way down like this and come up. You just want the depth of the range of motion coming down so you can engage your chest, right? Down here, I'm really forcing weight onto my anterior delt. Once I go to here, right, you can see I have to do this, I have to pull my shoulder back with weight and me having to pull the weight down. That's putting a lot of pressure here. If I just let myself relax to here naturally, I can feel my chest still being able to engage from here. So you don't have to go all the way down like this. And also, again, it's going to depend on your range of motion in terms of, you know, shoulder mobility and how big your chest is, right? So if you have a small chest, you probably don't have to go super low. I would say like an inch off your chest. That's about it. And we're back. So hopefully you guys take that and apply it to your incline bench press day. What? Apply it to your next chest day when you do an incline bench.
Go for the stretch. Three sets. 10.
Isolation. This guy's voice.
All right, so
Heavy this time.
Not so heavy. Just make sure you're
For the stretch.
the stretch. You want to hit those pecs. Pecs are stretched.
So the range of motion he's doing is great because look at his chest is active this entire time. He's not coming in all the way. And I like how at the beginning of this, we actually can see how he's active on his, chest in terms of where he's positioned right away. All right, so right here. So this angle, how we press here, you know, what he's doing here in terms of why his angle this way, how he's activating it, how he's actually hitting it, his approach to this, I'm gonna go explain to you right now in the next video on how to do this exact thing. Check it out. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it the correct way. And the guy in the video, I don't know his name, someone gotta tell me his name. I feel bad, the guy in the video. Find his name for me, please, thank you very much. But the way Arnold does it and the way he's doing it, very similar. And they're doing it in a range that's going to keep a load on your chest. Now again, this is my favorite, you know, fly motion. I would rather do something with constant tension, like, you know, cables or bands or whatever, right? But if we're gonna make this optimal, there's a few things that they're doing that we need to understand is how they're holding this in terms of how it's angled, how low they're going, and where their range of motion is. So again, when we're going back, just like anything else, be it dumbbell, barbell, we're on our back, we're in the same posture. If we're doing like incline press, flat press, whatever it is, we're here and we're back, and then we're gonna extend right away, we're gonna push up, right? Now from here, they're like this, they're not like this, they got a little angle this way. And when they go down, they're coming out, they're bending, they're wide. So they're able to go super wide as long as I keep my shoulders and arms above my chest, right? If I extend them more, I gotta hold it up a little higher. So the more I bend my elbows and keep the weight up my chest, right? The dumbbell is still above my chest, right? So I can go lower. So they're going from here, and then they're pulling in from, I would say, your thumb, index, and middle finger. And they're pulling into here. And they're coming back down, opening up, and pulling in. So basically he's opening up here like a V, and you can see I'm pulling in as if I had the top of my fingers, my index, middle finger, and my thumb are really pulling, and then supporting from the outside of my hand on the way in, but I'm holding it open, stretching it, and pulling in only to here where my chest is activated. They're not coming here, because right now it's not doing anything. Out here, my chest is working. So from here, nice and wide, elbows out, and pulling in. And that's your range. So in this angle, basically, if you're looking at what I'm talking about, like where your hands are, I would say they're almost like this. I'm putting a lot of grip from here, and then I'm supporting it from here so it doesn't just do this to my wrist. So my wrists are completely straight, but when I'm pulling initially, I'm pulling from this part of my hand, so I feel it all the way up from here. So when I'm pulling from here, this part of my chest is working. If I do this, I rotate like this, and this part of my chest is gonna work, right? So how we maneuver our hand, or external or internal rotation, is going to put the load on different parts of the chest, right? So from here, I'm gonna do like this. I'm doing this. I'm pressing it here. And press. And press. Let's give that a try.
Dips. Lean forward to hit the chest. 3 sets of 12.
Again, rep schemes, everything else, stay the same. You wanna make this hard, just do straight sets, 10 to 15 reps. If you could do that, even maybe just, 4 sets of as many reps as you can do. Rest a minute and a half between each set, or a minute to 2 minutes max, and do that. But again, when it comes to this, he wants to do 3 sets of 12, that's perfectly fine, that's a good set. But again, how we're doing this, do we lean forward? Do we, go more straight to hit our chest? So is it right? Is it wrong? How to approach it? Well, guys, check this video, guys, on how to actually approach doing dips. Check it out. So a couple things we're gonna go over is range of motion. Is it true whether or not we should, depending if we're straight this way, is it more triceps? If we're leaned over a little more, chest is forward, is it more chest? My answer is gonna be the most optimal position for your body to be in to go through the motion itself. And that's gonna be some form of like a lean, so we can stack our joints and keep our elbow in the best position. Being from this way, straight up here, and then trying to have a little lean and going down, isn't that optimal on my elbows at all, right? Now, grip-wise, this is for sure gonna be a lot easier, right? It's easier for everything to kind of move this way, looking at like maybe hammer curl or even pull. This is a lot easier, right, than it is to be this way, right? So being pronated this way is gonna work your chest a little bit. Just going across from here is gonna be a little more powerful in terms of like stability for most people, right? It's good to do both. Now, if we're doing this, again, we're gonna push from this part of our hand, right? Whether you're here or you're here, doesn't matter. We're gonna push to this part. So when I'm on top, regardless if I'm pushing like this, or I'm pushing like this, or whatever, I'm pushing from this part of my hand that's gonna go right through, I'll let my ulnar radius straight here to my elbow, right? So I'm here, pushing, whether I'm this, or whatever it is. So for here, I'm gonna be up here, right? I'm gonna wrap my hands this way. I'm gonna be on my palms pushing up, right? I like to wrap my legs a little bit, right, from here, and then a little lean, and then I wanna go forward, drop the elbows, and pushing up. Now when we're doing this, this is where you want to be position-wise. Depth all the way down is good, like 90 degrees, wherever you can go naturally and push up. Regardless of where you're at in terms of, range of motion, you're going to hit your triceps and your chest because it includes you to do elbow extension and then some form of adduction in a sense, right? This is still adduction a bit, right? So when we're pressing here, we're working the chest because we're pressing still, elbow adduction to the shoulders and pressing through and up.
Finally, pullovers. Stretch the muscle.
Okay, so in this video, he's actually doing this right in terms of it hitting his chest, but a lot of times people get this mixed up. So I'm gonna bring you guys, we're gonna watch him do the set first, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to actually hit this the chest way, what he's doing, so you don't get it mixed up with the back way, right? The back way, the chest way, either way. Check it out. So you can see his arms are more bent here. He's pulling over and he's pressing. So you can watch, I want you to see he's pulling over and then his arms go to being from bent to not. So basically going from elbow extension. He's pulling it over for elbow extension, right? So he's getting elbow flexion, elbow extension, right? That is causing this to be more of a chest exercise. It's a tricky one to coach people because a lot of people get this mixed up with dumbbell pullovers. And when I coach people do dumbbell pullovers, when they do, back, they're like, my chest is working, or then vice versa. So the reason why this does it does substitute for either or is because the chest is basically doing that, and the shoulders and the lats. So in terms of say a straight arm pull down, we're looking at, shoulder extension, right? We want to do this, right? That's what we want. That's what's going to happen. So being the load here and doing this is the same thing. Now your chest is actually going to help pull this thing over as well too. It's just pulling in a stretched motion from all the way up here. So if I'm doing dumbbell pull, cable flies and I'm pulling down this way, I'm working the intercostal head of the muscle down this way, right? Or decline. And then we're looking at shoulder itself, and the pec is doing shoulder adduction by basically being in a position where it's here and then flexing down this way. Right? So, and then bending the elbow more in this is going to put it more of a load on our chest because the top of this, and we'll show you what we're doing, is the difference between, I'll do a couple reps with just back. So this is a back dumbbell pullover that's going to affect my back. That's my intention, right? So from here, same idea, pinkies, it's going to be overlapping, making a triangle from here. Shoulders are depressed, they're just basically down. And then I'm going to internally rotate, but I'm going to keep my elbows fixed. So if this is a back exercise, put double pullovers, 4 back, my shoulders, everything's locked, my elbows are locked, I'm not going to bend. And I'm pushing back, and I'm really stretching the teres major minor and then pulling it over here, right? I feel nothing in my chest doing this, right? This is being pulled from my lats, my teres major minor and lats helping pull this thing over, right? My elbows aren't moving, they're staying straight and pulling over. Now, to make this chest, if I do this, the second I did this, my pecs are starting to work. So I'm pulling over this way, still stretching. I'm squeezing the bell. I'm squeezing the bell more and pulling over and then pushing at the top. So I'm pulling from here and then pushing and squeezing in and then extending. And that's what becomes chest. So this being the movement we're trying to do, again, we're letting it come back. We're letting our elbows bend a bit. We're pulling over, and then at the top, we're straightening it out and pushing away and letting our chest still push, just like if we're doing a flat bench. Same idea at the top. From here, my chest is activated and on. From here, it's not. From here, it is. So we're squeezing in here and pulling up. And then the chest is working because I'm squeezing. I'm doing shoulder adduction this entire time. And that makes my chest work. So that's the difference, right? So this standpoint, if you look at my shoulders and how they are, if I'm doing back, don't pull over and I want to hit just this, I look like this. And then this moves and it doesn't bend. If I'm doing chest, now I'm doing this and letting this bend and then pulling here and then straightening at the top to make it work, right? That's the difference. And that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. I'm McCullough, the telling it is transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coach you guys, johnashe.com. If you want more info about my coach you guys, book yourself a 15 to 30-minute consult with me. And in that consult, guys, I deduct off any package that you pick, guys. Also, hit the description below for those discount codes, promo codes, help save life or change life for the better. And guys, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, guys. Send me your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips, and I'll repost it for you because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.